Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tina and today I'm going to show you part 2 of some Lent DIYs that I've come up with to decorate our home during this Lenten season. These simple, inexpensive Lent DIYs tie in nicely with the ones that I showed you in my first video, which I will link above and also put in the description box below. Here are some of the basic supplies that you will need. I picked up just about everything at Dollar Tree. First, you will need 3 bottles with a similar shape to these. Dollar Tree carries some similar to these, although I got mine at Target. You'll need 3 sprigs of this lilac bush. I ended up going with the lighter purple. You'll need, I didn't end up using this ribbon for this particular project. But you will need 1 bag of sand. It's the Dollar Tree sand, a pair of scissors, and a glue gun, and then twine, which you can also pick up at Dollar Tree. To begin, I actually had a piece of cardstock that I wanted to make a little more aged and weathered, and so I painted it with coffee. I just put on 1 coat over the whole thing, let it dry, and then I painted an additional coat over the whole thing and let that dry overnight. Then I arranged some words using Google Docs. I just picked out the font that I liked. I tried 2 different ones, and I made the words prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, and I spread them out on the page so that they can be cut out with plenty of space around them. Then once the coffee stained paper was dry, I ran it through the printer to print out my words. Next, I wanted to create a stencil in the shape of a tag to cut out the words. So I created this one out of cardboard. I just kind of sketched the shape I want and cut it out. Then I placed that over the word in the position that I wanted it to be in. I traced each word, positioning where I wanted it to be on the tag, and then I cut each one out. Then I just used a hole punch to punch a hole in the end of my tag. Then the tags were ready to go. Next, we get out our bottles. 3 bottles. Mine were from Target, but you can get yours from Dollar Tree, a similar type. And then you need 1 bag of the sand from Dollar Tree. I just took the cardboard top off, and inside is then a sealed bag, and then I cut the corner of that off. I thought I was going to need a funnel originally, but I ended up not needing one because it'll pour nicely if you just create a little hole in the corner. Then you just want to pour the sand out into each of the 3 bottles, trying to get them with even portions of sand in each bottle. Now we need to cut 3 even pieces of the twine. Mine were about 12 to 14 inches long, and I basically just guessed, cut 1, and then cut the other 2 the same size as the first one. But I'm guessing they were about 12 to 14 inches long. Then you want to tie 1 piece of twine to the top of each of the 3 bottles. Then you tie it into a knot, and you will now attach your tag. It's best to take the front piece. You want to go in through the top of the tag, facing the word, and come out the back, and that way when you tie it on, the knot will be behind the tag. The tags ended up sticking out away from the bottle a little more than I wanted, so I took my glue gun and kind of stuck the top of the tag to the bottle just to kind of hold it in place. Now you could just leave your bottles like this, but I decided to add one branch of the pale lilac bushes that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I decided to add those down in because I wanted just a little bit of color. But either way would be fine. You could just stop now if that's what you want to do. Now, the reason I created these is because the words prayer, fasting, and almsgiving are central to my faith's beliefs as to what Lent is about. Each of these is a way for us to get closer to Jesus during this Lenten time. And the sand, to me, was to represent Jesus' time in the desert. So this is kind of just like a focal point, still sort of a decorative piece, but also a nice focal point to remind us of what Lent is about. This next Lent DIY is also using mostly products from Dollar Tree. You'll need a glue gun, a couple popsicle sticks, some purple ribbon. The paint was 98 cents at Walmart, some snippers or wire cutters, and some of these bushes, more of the lilac bushes from Dollar Tree. And I have a paintbrush from Dollar Tree, and also the grapevine wreath is from Dollar Tree as well. You'll begin by snipping off the flowers and also pulling off some of the leaves. Next, you want to take your 2 popsicle sticks and trim the rounded parts off. For one of them, I just trimmed it at the very edge, and for the other one, I made it a little shorter because we're going to use these to make a cross. Once you get the size of cross that you want, then you're just going to hot glue it where the 2 pieces meet together. Then you will take your brown paint and you're going to paint the cross. Even though the cross is mostly going to be seen from the front, I did go ahead and do along the sides and the back too, because I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to be positioned on my wreath. Then you put the cross aside to dry and begin working on the wreath. You begin the wreath by removing the tag. Now I did go ahead and leave the clear plastic ring on because I was going to use that as a hanger. You kind of just play around with the positioning as you go and hot glue here and there when you're sure you like how something looks. I used a mixture of the light and dark floral. I think it just made the wreath a little more interesting. And then I only used a few pieces of the greenery from those sprigs. So I just continued until I got to a look and a certain amount of like fullness that I liked, mixing up the light and the dark flowers and putting a little bit of greenery throughout, but not too much. But that was just my own personal preference. You can do this however you like. I did make it kind of full on the one side. That was just the look that I liked. Next, you need to get your purple ribbon out because we're going to place it on the cross to make it look like it's draping down over. I took a little more than I knew I would need so that I'd have a little to work with. And I just cut, it may have been about 12 inches, and I cut that. So this next part's a little hard to explain, but you can see how I did it. I laid the ribbon and hot glued it to the back of the cross, and then I draped it down in the front, made it go around and drape over the other side of the cross. Next, I had to make sure before I glued any more that I had enough ribbon left in the center so that when I glued it down, it would look like it's draping gracefully down the center of the cross. So once I figured that out, I glued the other side down. Then I trimmed the edges of the ribbon that hung down because it didn't need to be that long. Next, I hot glued the center down so that it just looks like it's hanging gracefully over the cross. Now the cross is complete, but I wanted to find a way to make it stand out a little more. So I had some other sprigs. First of all, I glued down the lighter lilac piece. And then I was looking for something else to make it stand out. And on another sprig I had left from a different project, I found a couple of pieces that kind of reminded me of palm branches. So then I decided to angle the two pieces and position them on the wreath so that they kind of make the cross stand out a little more. So then I hot glued the cross on top of those two branches. And that's it. This makes a pretty spring looking piece, but it also has that focus that reminds us that it is still Lent, not quite Easter. And I hung this in my foyer, the entryway into my house. It wasn't quite big enough of a wreath to be hanging off my front door, but I think the entryway of our home actually is a perfect spot for it. And I hope I made these directions clear enough for you to understand, but it is very simple. It's very inexpensive. Everything was from Dollar Tree except for the brown paint, but you could use any brown paint that you have on hand. So now that all of my DIYs for Lent are complete, I thought I would just take you on a quick little tour to show you how they look throughout our home. I ended up placing these 3 bottles on our mantle, and I put them there on this side because in the center I have the DIY projects for Lent that I did in a recent video that I will link below. And here is my formal living room, just another part of our home that we added some Lent and spring touches to. And then also this crown of thorns that my daughter made last year out of the palm branches from Palm Sunday. So if you enjoyed today's video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I will be doing a giveaway in the very near future as a small token of my appreciation for all of those who have subscribed to my channel, and I will also be doing a video on what I'll be putting in my kids' Easter basket. So definitely hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, and then you'll know when I post those upcoming videos. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoyed this.